Welcome back, everyone, to Pineleaf Plays the Brawler, where in the last episode I determined, rather unsurprisingly, that it's not much fun doing mounted combat with a Brawler. That pretty much fits with my determination with most melee classes, so I decided that I am just going to skip by the mounted combat range. As you can see, I am now at level 134. I used a Valor to get up to 130, and I did some leveling afterwards in order to help to get my legendary items into a decent position. Now, let's go and run a skirmish and see how the Brawler runs at this level. Now, this is before any updates that are being made to the Brawler in response to player feedback, but just to say that so far it looks like that the Brawler is very good on the offensive side and not so strong on the defensive side, at least when I'm in red line. And I'm set up right now into pretty much red and yellow, all the red island red traits, and the bulk of the yellow line traits are all in here at the moment, and I am at the current cap on that. So let's see how I do. Let's just run a skirmish and see how it works. We are running a Breaching the Necromancer's Gate, and we'll see how it works against these various foes. Now, this is not all that difficult a skirmish, so I don't expect things to be too much of a problem here. Let's go and find out what we got here. Hello? And looks like they decide. Who's shooting at me? Oh, well, that sort of makes things a little bit tougher when you've got the one way in the back doing it. Means you have to go through others in order to get to them. Let's see. And whack. And your turn. Now, I should note that I am not. You see here, look, I am already pretty far down in my morale. So I need to work on things a little bit in that department. Actually, I better get that up here. Okay, good. And I'll probably have to get some food in here, since all that food I've been making, of course, was for lower levels and all that stuff. So I should really get some decent food transferred to this character so that I can have. Okay, there you go. And hey, oi, that pale trapper did quite a task on flying up there. And now it's your turn. And apparently, at this level, the herbalist isn't really doing all that much, because I see the numbers coming up and all that stuff, but it looks like when you have 340,000 morale, it's not doing all that much. Now, 340,000 doesn't really sound like all that much, though perhaps because I'm used to my level 140 warden who's currently at 1,000,000, so sounds pretty low. Let's see how much I have when I hit level 140 and see where it is. But I hope to be able to, at least in tanking stance, maybe be able to get up to a decent amount in there. Hey, you! Let's see how we do against the lieutenant. Okay, you're down. Alright, that one's not too bad. Is there anyone else around here? Oh, yeah! He came down the stairs just as I was saying that. Alright, just as I was looking for somebody to punch. You come along. Now, let's head up here and find out what we've got. Now, I am using the legendary item that I was given when I did the Valor thing, which is probably typical of how those things operate. So that seems to give me quite enough on the damage side on there. I don't have quite the traceries yet that I would be looking for, because I have essentially the traceries that you get with it when you that I got at the various when I was opening up all the boxes and the like. So not the ideal traceries that I would have chosen. So most likely I'm going to be swapping them out over the course of time as I study the Brawler a little bit more closely to decide which traceries do I think will work with my skills. I just didn't want to jump into them right away. Now, there's some of them that were, oh yes, of course I want to do that one, such as Hurl Object Cooldown, yes, because how much I like throwing that mug. So I already knew that one, so I made sure that I had that one in there. But some of the others, it was just happened to be whatever happened to be there. There we are in there. Okay, good. Sulfurous odor. So if we go into here. So here's what we've got here. The Heraldry of the Lion, for example. This is... This one, right now I'm using a 13 cyan one in there. I'll probably have to upgrade that to a 14 purple at some point. I'm not too sure where the crossover point is, where the tier 14 purple would be better than the 13 cyan. On some of the others though, which rely on percentages, sometimes the 13 would be better than the 14 if I like whatever the percentage is doing. Like single target damage in here plus 18%, but I already had a purple one in there from before, so obviously I kept, so I upgraded that to a tier 14 purple. So the ones that were purples already from what I got in the box, I upgraded those. The cyans for now I haven't upgraded yet till I've done a little bit more research so that we can be sure that the cyan would be an upgrade for me. Like Hurl Object, for example, that has a cooldown on it that's related to. And if I would go from a 13 cyan to a 14 purple, then I'll be losing the cooldown bonus that you have on there. If that's important to you, you don't want to go around fiddling with that one. At least not till I get a better one, when I find a cyan or a gold one of that type, then I'll worry about it. I really should have gone after the encounter first, but obviously I was too busy talking and not thinking at the time. Here you go. Your turn. Oh, okay. This is taking longer than I thought it was going. I think one of the things is that now that I'm 134, I think at 130 I was getting through them pretty easily, but now I'm getting 134. I'm starting to out-level my equipment because I have the equipment that I got when I Valored. So I'm going to have to do some questing, probably start doing the Gunabad quest line and get some equipment that way. I am also doing some Gunabad missions in there. That's how I actually did most of my leveling here, was through Gunabad missions. And I think probably what we'll be doing for the bulk of the time is when I get to 140 to see what it is like at level cap. Since there's always a question about what kind of equipment you do, because upgrading equipment when you are the last couple of levels before level cap is alright. You're not going to pay for too much difficulty in going for, you'll get the questing equipment perhaps as you go along, but trying to level up to upgrading your equipment when you had to do your main upgrade just a couple of levels, you're less likely to do it. Or at least I'm less likely to do it. But we'll see what happens. As I said, if I have something drop in landscape or questing stuff, I will, of course, have no problem on that matter. Now, okay, nothing else around here. Let's take care of these. But so far it looks like I'm usually able to do a decent amount of damage. But a little bit trickier than it was at 130, it looks like. I'm wondering if the complaints about the Brawler not doing enough damage could have been maybe when you hit. Maybe it was fine up to level 130, because I felt like I was doing plenty of damage at 130, but maybe at 130 to 140 the curve was giving trouble to the Brawlers. I know that a lot of complaints had to do with how much damage they were doing, because the patch notes from Brawler, which is talking about the updates that they're going to be doing, was talking all about. There you go. Was mainly talking about increasing the damage to it, not talking about survivability. So obviously the complaints must have been about how much damage they're doing. And at lower levels I didn't notice any problems. And at 130 I didn't notice any problems. Here I'm beginning to notice problems. And how much are you healing me? Because those look like 3-digit numbers, which isn't going to cut it. And that's the reason why it doesn't cut it. At least this gives me a chance to do the other encounter that I completely bypassed last time. I even talked about it and that I should come back and take care of it, and it looks a lot like the one that just killed me. Now let's see what I can do to here. But I don't think that the herbalist is doing all that much for me. Yeah, 305. That's pathetic. Did I properly set this up? I thought that I had leveled up my herbalist. It'd be really funny if I didn't. Let's see. Herbalist. What do we have here? We have skill. Nature's Cure, 50. Plus 339 heal. Yeah, that's 339 plus. What about the baseline? Really? Refreshing herbs, plus 13. Well, you're not doing that all that often. Was I using a base of 0? That's ridiculous. I would have expected that would be on top of some sort of baseline the herbalist has just for being an herbalist. Let's see what it says under herbalist itself. I mean, I've never had trouble in the past with this. Let's see. 500 was healing skill, healing aura. Well, I don't know, but this is really awful. Now, let's see if I can actually damage this guy. But obviously, I'm not damaging him fast enough because I am being beaten up to a pulp here. Alright, let's get that up. Alright, good. Now that was very bad timing on there. And alright, this time at least I was better prepared. Alright, being properly prepared obviously helps to compensate for the little problem there, but yeah, plus 355, that is just too Those are ridiculous numbers. What? Do I have a negative number as the baseline for her healing skill or something? I knew that the scaling was pretty bad on skirmish soldiers, and that it was far from perfect, but that's pretty much saying that, except for the fact that she's able to act as a good tank sometimes, that she's more useful as a tank than she is as a healer. I guess I'm going to have to do some numbers and run them on there to see the capabilities of various skirmish soldiers, because right now I am not impressed at all whatsoever. Alright, absolutely not impressed. Okay, fine. You go and do that, and I'll go and do these. And we'll see how things are going on there. Actually, she's surviving pretty. How is it that she's able to heal herself? She just can't heal me. Maybe it's the fact that I am so far from level 105, because the training on the herbalist was at tier 50 was designed for level 105, but looks like that maybe the scaling is really off. That's what's on there, so that the healing that they have in there is adjusted by some numbers for not being the right tier for it. But I'm at the maximum tier, so that's not going to help any. Right, well, that says that now I can understand what people are talking about. Something that I wasn't quite understanding before when I was doing the things at level 130, but 134 is getting a lot tougher here, and I suspect that when you get to maybe a couple more levels, things will be tougher. We'll see how they're going. I don't know when the update is coming out, whether it's coming out next week or the week after. And when it does come out, I guess we could run some numbers to see. Well, maybe not, won't be running real numbers, but we can at least see if I'm at least punching better then. But I would like to see if I get to 140 before, since I could really see how we run at that level, so you have an understanding of before and after. Right now, yes, looks like that without being fully prepared, I'm not going to do very well in some encounters here, right? Well, what do you say about that, Goldinger? Of course, it could also be the traceries. So what I've done is I've bought a pair of Heraldry of the Lion traceries to see what happens if I change mine. Actually, here we are, right over here, Heraldry of the Lion. So this is a cyan 13, and I'm going to replace that with a purple 14. So currently I'm at 5600 and 3500 and 5700. Now this claims that 6700, 5490, and 5400. So it sounds like it's a significant upgrade. Well, slight decrease in the physical mastery, but everything else seems to be a bit of an improvement here. Now, what happens if I plop 10 of these on here? Let's see what it looks like. Oh, yes! I think I see the problem. Very well, I think the answer to that is, at least for the heraldries, I very definitely want to plop those in there. Where? Ah, alright, I only had 10 of those. Anyway, well, I guess I will also want to place a few into there so that this one will also be equally upgraded in there. But I think that's the best thing for me to do in that department. As for back over here, looks like I've got 5 more of these, so I might as well bring this up to as far as I can go at the moment. There you go, 8,800. Yeah, 71, 76. Yeah, that more than doubles my vitality bonus from it. So yes, I think that answers that particular question, that for the heraldries at the very least, you very definitely want to push them up to the proper tier. Let's see how we do with one of the encounters after that little bit of an upgrade. This time Murak. And he's already knocked us down once. And let's see. Oh. Alright, and let's take care of that. Okay, move the corruption. Alright, that's good. He put the major fright on me after I removed that silence, but looks like I'm getting through here reasonably well. I suspect, though, if I didn't remove that corruption properly, I could have been in a bit of a trouble. Now, let's just also face this counterattack on there. Let's see, who's the remaining... I suppose that we have that ghost or something like that to go against. Oh. Hi! Well, this is what they're going to put against me here. This one's not too bad of a counterattack then. I guess because there's no lieutenant is the reason why. There you go. And... oh! Oh! The same one we had last time. No, not the same one we had last time. Right over here. Now, let's see what we got. Right over here. Oh, her. And... that's the problem, is I can't time my interrupts properly. That's really bad, especially against this particular one, who summons things. Yeah, this isn't going well. I mean, I had to use a pot in order to do that, and one of the things I was going to see is if I could defeat the lieutenant without using a pot. I mean, the encounter without using a pot, and no, I couldn't. Because that would definitely have been back to the beginning of the instance if I didn't use the pot at that point. You're useless, you know. I'll just finish this up with blue line instead of red line and see how much difference that makes. And thank you. I just needed a trait, or whatever that thing is. Completed. Brawler stance. How about that? Dancing about. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's right. Of course. I said, why is it taking longer? It's taking longer because I'm in taking line now. Of course it's going to be lower. Oh, yeah. Am I actually damaging this thing at all? Well, I have to be because the herbalist certainly isn't. I really should be putting these things in the same relative area when I am get the two lines so that the AoEs are in the same location, because if they're not, I'm going to get confused with it whenever I switch lines. Oh, Hey, 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 stop that. That was good timing. Okay. Okay, got you down. Now let's see how we do against Doraz. So it's the encounters though that are the tougher ones. I don't think Doraz is nearly as tough as the encounters are. But now let's go and see how we do here. Yeah, I'm not used to this line. Mm, I'm not too sure that helped all that much because I still got down halfway. So that didn't change much in there. It looks like that at 134, I'm not optimally done. Now, perhaps when I get a couple more levels, get some equipment appropriate to those higher levels, and get some traceries that are more up to snuff, things will be better. But we have to save that for the next episode of Piney Plays the Brawler.